All right. Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Just to let you know before we get started here that this call is being recorded. I like to post these recordings in our Salamander Universe database so that you can actually go back through and review any of these videos if need to. So this month's training is on the Events Pro feature. So I thought it'd be a great time to put some spotlight on this feature. We did release this back in September with our V68 release, so it's still fairly new. As we go through each of the components of the Events Pro feature, I will provide you ample time to ask questions. However, please feel free to send me a message through the chat function and I will answer them accordingly. All right, so the Events Pro feature, this is included with the Plans feature, or you can subscribe to it separately. The Events Pro feature opens up the Resource Timer tile, the Roster tile, and the additional functionalities within the Chart tile. So with a standard SalamanderLive subscription, you already have access to the Chart tile, but what the Events Pro feature does is it gives you access to those additional functionalities, such as creating a chart as you see here, and going in and adding assignments and resources, etc. So in these next couple of slides here, I'm going to break down what each tile offers and how they can be used during an incident or event. Now I'm going to be bouncing back between my PowerPoint presentation and within SalamanderLive. I'm going to kind of break down each one at a time. So the first one I'm going to start out with is the resource timer. So the resource timer, this actually has three purposes. One allows you to have visibility on how long people have been in an assignment. So it's going to give you a full list. As you can see here, you'll see their time is located at the left, their name, their organization, which assignment they're currently in, their ID, and their title. The second purpose of this is to allow you to set timers. So you can set a event timer. So there's a max time that you can set up at the top here, as well as a time for a warning and when you're getting near your max time. So this is for the entire event. Or you have the option to set up individual timers. So for every single one of these people. And this is really just to help keep scene safety and ensure that people don't exceed their time limitations. So you can use this for scheduling. You can use this for people that are going to a hot zone, for those different types of incidents. And then the third on here is that you can export all this timer data into a CSV report. So within the tile, there is going to be this icon right here that you'll be able to download a report of all this information. All right, so I'm going to jump into SalamanderLive here so that you can see this in action. All right, I was just making sure that we removed any of the background noise there. So where I'm going to show you this is going to be in SalamanderLive version 2. So yes, you do have to use our newest version of SalamanderLive in order to get access to the Events Pro feature. So first, before I go into the actual resource timer, I want to show you how to set someone up to get access to Events Pro. So if you are an administrator, you should see a option in your left menu for security users. Simply click on that and go to your security users and then go into the individual security user profile. Okay. So once in the profile, you can click on any one of your the individual that you're looking at adding the Events Pro feature for. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down to this person right here. So I'm going into their actual user profile. You'll see underneath the product. So once you subscribe to it, you should see an Events Pro feature option. Okay. So underneath here, if you want this person to be able to access all those functionalities that comes with Events Pro, you must select that. So you have to make sure that this is checkmarked within that user's profile so that when they log in, they'll be able to see those 3 additional tiles. Okay, so that's going to be extremely important. We get a lot of questions on that. Once you have that activated, the user logs in, they go into their events. So the Events Pro feature is going to be on the events dashboard. So you do have to access an actual event in order to see this information. So we're going to go to my event called Moosewood Blizzard. It's very fitting for this time of the year. Okay. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to my resource timer. So these are the 3 that you're going to get additional: resource timer, roster tile, and then the chart. The chart, again, you will have that with your standard Salamander Live subscription, but with this, I'm going to show you later all the different options that you have. So the resource timer, hopefully you guys can see here. So here's a resource timer. So the top here, you can set a max time. So right now this event has been running for 2 days and 3 hours and 41 minutes. So let's say if you're looking at 3 days is the max time or something, you can put in your time there. Maybe it's whatever it is that you're looking for in there. Okay. So again, it goes by hours, so not by days. So it goes by hours. So you'd have to do by your hours. Okay. So I'm going to put in here, I'll put in here 72 hours for 3 days, 0 minutes. Warnings in here, I can do, I want let's say it's an hour warning. So I'll put in here 71 hours. And I'm going to click save. So that's the event timer. That's how you can do that. Just simply click save and this will do a countdown. So as these timers, as the event gets to 72 hours, or actually 71 hours, you'll hear a warning. So the alarm is going to ring right here, and it's going to ring for anybody that's logged into Salamander Live into this event. Okay, so just because one person said it, or because one person sets it, it's going to be available for everybody that's accessing this event through Salamander Live. Okay. On top of setting up the event timer, you can go in here and set up the individual timer. So how do you do that? Is just simply click on the person's name. So here's the first one, Brian Armstrong. I'm just going to click on his name. Again, you can click anywhere within this line, within this row, and it's going to pop up the set individual timer pop-up window. And there you can set up his max time. Okay, so whatever his max time is going to be, I'm just going to put in here that it's 60 hours. Okay. Okay, that's his max time. You can also put a warning time in here if you'd like to. You have the option to do so. So let's say it's 59 hours and 30 minutes. Okay. And then you can click save, and then you'll see once you click save, underneath the individual timer set column, you should see an icon. So that is a visual indicator that lets you know that a timer has been set for this person. So you can do that for each individual person. So if you worked with Command before, this works very similar to Command, except Command, you're setting up the timer for the entire assignment. Okay, so this is different in that you're setting a timer for an actual single person. Okay, so again, you can set it up for this person as well. Yes, question?
So really quick, both on the event and the person. So if you set max event time at 72 hours, after 72 hours, does the system end the event? Hard stop?
Does not. It does not. So, yep, the system does not do any hard stops and events. You have to end them manually through the system. So this is just a timer for you. If you set a timer in here, that's a reminder for you, hey, it is time to end the event. Everybody should be off scene. There should be nobody within an actual assignment. And that's where you can go back to the event list and then end the event that way.
Gotcha. And then on the warnings, I know this might seem like a silly question, but can you set a warning time without setting a max time?
No, normally you'd have to set the max time and the warning time together. If you don't want to set a warning and you want to use the max time as the warning, feel free to do so. You can leave it as 0 and you can say that, hey, the max time is going to be the actual warning at 72 hours, but the real time in which the event should end is 73 hours or 73 hours. Yep.
Thanks.
So you can do it that way as well. You're welcome. And just so that you know, as you know, if you put a warning time in here, just know that this right here, as you hit the warnings, like your actual first warning, it's going to turn yellow. Okay, you'll hear the alarm, and then once it's expired, this color will turn red to let you know that their time that you set for this individual person is expired. So these colors right here, they do change. So right now they're all green. That means they're all good to go. Okay. And of course, you have your option to search for someone, so you can search by first name or last name. So again, if you're running a large scale event where you have hundreds of people in here, last thing you want to do is use the pagination to try to find that person. So that's why there's a search function at the top here. We can zone in on that individual, find them, set their timer, and then there you go. Okay. So if you need to remove a timer, simply click on that person's name again, and you can just remove the timer on there. I mean, they're going to show up that they're going to be red on there, so you don't have to remove it. But again, if you want to remove it, you just remove them by deleting the information, clicking save, and that's delete the information. Okay. If you want to pull the report, simply click on the icon, and that's going to download a CSV report of all your people that's available within this resource timer and any timers that are set. Any additional questions on the resource timer? No questions? All right. There are no questions. We're going to continue. So let's move on to our roster tile. So the roster tile, this is an event management tool. Really what it does is it allows users who are subscribed to the Events Pro or Plans feature to do three things. First thing is it's going to give you visibility on who has checked into the event, and also provide you their last assignment. So you can see here, it'll show their ID, first name, or sorry, their name, their organization, their current assignment, their title, and the last time, the last check-in time. So this last updated means their last check-in time for this assignment. And then if they have an email in here. Reason why we are capturing the email on here is because there is a option for you to send emails to these event participants, whether they're active or they're off scene. So again, that's just depending on their assignment. Okay. And then one of the main reasons I know a lot of people right now that use the event or the roster tile for is the ability to edit date and time and or assignments for people. Okay, so this is really that time management tool that you can go back and let's say if someone missed a check-in time and you want to be able to track all their activity because maybe you're looking for reimbursement because I know FEMA does require you to have activity tracking for that for reimbursement, or if someone forgot to check out of the event and you want to give them the correct payment for their time for the event, you can go and fix that with the roster tile. Okay. But one thing I do want to note on here, you can see I have it start on here that only users with an administrator level access will have the ability to make these changes. All right. So to make any sort of time change, there is basically 4 roles that allows you to do this. So those roles are the administrator no medical, administrator no security, and org admin no security. So those are the 4. Okay, so for those accounts that have uh, um, special roles that are created specifically for your account, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so most of you will have an administrator type role, but if it's outside of the 4 that I talked about, just give our support a call if you have any questions, or contact your local sales rep. They can provide you that information whether or not you will have access. Let's go back to Salamander Live to the roster tile. So roster tiles right here. Now, I didn't mention this in the beginning, but if you're going through your events dashboard and you have the Events Pro activated, but you don't see any of the tiles that you're looking for, make sure you go all the way to the top. You'll see that it's an icon, looks like 4 squares. That's your tiles menu. Okay. So if you have anything that's missing, that's hidden from view, you'll see it's listed there. Like for example, I have my plan versus actual tile. I put that hidden. So this tile is related to the plans feature. I'm not using this for this training. That's why I just removed it from here. Okay. But if you want to add it, just simply click on it and it adds it to your actual event dashboard. Okay, so there's no data displayed on here because this event was not created from a plan. So I'm going to just click X, remove that again. Okay, so again, you're missing one and you're trying to find it. That's where it's at. Okay, so I'm going to go back down to my roster tile. Where did it go? Because I did that, it kind of messed things up a little bit. Reorganized my tiles. So here's my roster tile. So first things first, you can see all the information, everybody that's checked in so far. I've got 10 people on here that's showing all 10. But again, you can show up to 30 if you wanted to on here. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. Now, to make any changes to these people, again, you can only edit one person at a time. Okay, so you can't do multi-edits for times. Okay, so you can only do one person at a time. So in this case, let's look at Mr. Rudy Avery here. Okay, so you'll see next to every row there is a checkbox. If you click on that checkbox, you'll see that there's some icons that appear in the top right of the tile. Okay, so first one is going to be an email option. So email event. So this basically means you can email this person. It just works like a regular email if you're sending one from Outlook or Gmail or anything like that, right? But in this case, it's coming from Salamander Live. Okay, so they have to have an email listed here in order for the email to go through. Okay, so if you're sending to multiple, you can click on multiple, you'll see that the plus icon disappears. Okay, we'll talk about what the plus icon is. So if I'm sending it to multiple people on here and I want the same email to be sent out to these 3 people, I can click the checkbox next to their record, click email event, and then I'm going to get the send mail notification pop-up window. Here you can put the subject. What is the subject? I'm just going to put in here, I can spell, test, and body, this is a test. So it tells you right here at the bottom that who's receiving this email. If they don't have an email, you should see it says this person doesn't have email, so the email will not be sent out. Okay, simply click send, and then they should receive the email. Wait for the email to pop through, so I'll show you what that email is going to look like. So this is what the email looks like. It's very, very simple. I'll move this over so you can see. So it's going to show you the event name. So it's coming from Salamander Live notifications. So if you use Salamander Live before, you'll know that there's a lot of different communications that comes from Salamander Live notifications. Make sure that your people understand not to reply to this email. This is again sent from this. So we're actually going to get the email if they reply back to this. This is sending it back out to Salamander Live notifications. It goes back to Salamander Technologies. We'll actually take a look at this and we'll forward it over to who it's supposed to go to. So in this case, it should be going to training@salamanderlive.com. That's the person that sent it. Okay. So best ways for them to click on this link and then send the response there if need be. Okay. But this is what the email will look like. Your subject at the top and then the body down here. So again, real simple email communication that you can send out. On top of this, you are able to also see the plus button. This is your add log entry. So this is your time edits. Okay. So again, if you see the plus icon, but if you try to click on it and it gives you an X on there, that means that you don't have access. So I recommend that you would need to talk to your account administrator to make sure that you've got the correct permissions in order to do so. I'll go back to security users once I show you this on the different roles, because we do have some other ones that allows you to manage this as well. Okay, so go ahead and click on add log entry, and it's going to open up the manual log entry form. Okay, so currently his time right now, it's 9:24. So let me go back in here, crash report. So let's say he's in crash report 124. It last updated was at 9:24. Let's say he was supposed to check out, but he never did, and we need to put a time in for that. So I'm going to put the date. So I'm going to put that for 25, 23, let's say, or sorry, 24. And let's say that he was supposed to check out at 8 p.m. Okay. This time right here does not take military time, just regular time. Okay. And then p.m. and then choose his assignment that he's supposed to that's supposed to change. So his checkout time for the 24th was supposed to be at 8 p.m. So he has a missed checkout time. So in this case, I'm just put off scene. Once you do that, you have to click the checkbox for I understand. This is just letting you know that you're making actual changes to the logs, meaning on the reports and the log report and actual every activity report. Okay, so this is making a complete change to all those reports. Once I click save, you'll see on here that it should save, and now Rudy Avery has been moved to off scene. So that's his last check-in time. So that's what we're doing on here is last check-in time. So right here it says 1:24 at 8 p.m. Okay. So this will capture. So if you put a time on here that's after the last updated, just note that that time will not populate in here. Okay, because it's a past time. So you'll see that reflected in the reports, but not within the roster tile for any past times beyond their first check-in time. Okay, so that's how you do that. Again, you can do it for missed assignment check-ins, missed checkout for the day, etc., or missed check-in for the days, whatever it is that you're looking at fixing on the actual report itself. So in this case, if I go to the report, I can click this report. I like looking at the people activity summary report, and I like looking at the CSV version, or actually the activity cost one. I like just putting standard in there. So here's the report. So Rudy Avery. Make sure this is nice and big. So you'll see in the report his time in. So we go in here, time in at 9:24. His timeout is at 2000 hours, so 8 p.m. So check some out there. And then right now, because we pulled the report up, it's going to still it'll show today's date and the current time right now. Okay, so right now he's off scene. Okay. And it should show his calculation, his assignment time, total time, rate, total, everything. Okay. So it fixes the report so it represents correctly his paid time working that event. If you need to fix someone else's, you can go back in here and then of course click the plus and then you can fix someone else's time. Okay, so again, you have to do this one at a time. Any questions on the process for editing times and emails and sending emails? No questions? Okay, so I'm going to go back to security users because I know I promised to show you guys this on the security user side. So I'm just going to go and click on one of these individuals, click on this person. So under here, under the choose role, you'll see there's all these options right here. So there's actually 5 and I forgot and I apologize. I missed the 5th one. So it's administrator, no security. You got the org admin, no delete. Okay. So you got these 2 right here. There is another one. It's the administrator, no, oh, you're right, no medical. It's not in here yet, but we are adding that to our default roles list. And then the 5th one is this manual log entry. So this one right here, you can set the exact organization which you want them to be able to edit log entries for. If you want to span that down to any children, you can do so. So this means that they don't have to be an administrator in order to make those changes, but they should have access to the events. So you want to make sure that they're in a role that also has access to manage event data so that they can go in and manage those log entries. Okay. Questions? No questions? All right. So last one we're going to take a look at is the chart tile. So the chart, what this does is it provides a detailed list view of all the assignments and resources, and it puts it into a Again, if you have the Events Pro, it allows you to put into a nice chart view. Okay, so again, all the data that you're seeing within this chart tile is synced from connected Salamander solutions. So like, for example, the track apps and Rapid Tag, Evac, Command, Tag. So all that data that's being pulled in from those connected solutions that are joined into this event is pulled in. Okay, you'll see them entered in here as resources or as assignments. Okay. So with the Events Pro feature turned on, you'll have the additional functionalities within the chart tile to be able to create that reporting or relationship structure within the assignment. So you'll be able to create that chart. What you also have is the ability to create new assignments. So there's a plus button on here that you'll be able to add those assignments. You'll be able to right click any of these assignments and you can add and edit location information for each of the assignments. And within that assignment detail window, you can also add resources. So you can add people, you can add equipment, you can add collections, right? All from Salamander Live. And then the last one on here is being able to take a picture of the or save an image of the actual chart itself, and you can print that off, save it. So you can use it for future events if need be. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my event. I'm going to rearrange this back. I'm going to move my chart up higher. So rearranging is super simple. If you want to rearrange your dashboard, just simply click on the tile header and drag and drop it, moving where you want it to go. So I'm going to put it underneath my map because the map in this case, it does come to play when you're working with these additional functionalities with the chart. So here's my map. You'll see that there could be up to 4 different icons on here. So first icon, and this is going to be for standard subscription, okay? Or standard subscription for Salamander Live. You get your 3 icons. You get your event. So this is set up on the event list where you click on the checkbox next to event and you can edit the location information. I'll show you where to do that. Okay, so if you put an address in there, it's going to mark the event location right there with the red pin. If you click on the red pin, it should show you the address, latitude, longitude, and UTM coordinates. You can also have 2 additional pins on here. You'll have a blue pin. This is for tag app users. So if you also are subscribed to the tag apps, you can, as each tag app user remotely joins into an event, so if they go onto their application and tap join, their location will be pinned onto this map. Okay. If you click on that, you'll see who that person is, their name, their organization, their title, their phone number, and their coordinates. Okay. This is something new that we just released with our v68.1.0 version of Salamander Live is this history option. Okay, so there's a toggle now that you can click on, and it's going to pull up breadcrumbs for that specific tag user. So you'll see that there's going to be an arrowhead icon that kind of shows the location in which that person is moving. So I'm just working from my office, so that's just me roaming around. I try to make sure that I went all different areas around my office so that we at least had some arrowheads on here. Okay, so right now it's just showing that I'm basically in one area, but this is where I'm at. So if I was to take my car and drive out somewhere, this actual pin will actually show my location and the direction of where I went. If I came back, it'll show my direction coming back to my office. Okay, so again, in order for this to work, your tag app has to have the location services turned on, okay? And they have to be joined into the event in order to see their pin, not only that, to see their location history. Okay. To toggle that off, just simply click on that. Again, toggle it off and then click X. The third pin on here is the track app. So the track app on here is for track app users. As they join the event, their location will be pinned on here as well. You'll get their username, their organization, and then their coordinates. Okay. So this track app pin does not move, unlike the tag app. This tag app moves every quarter mile. The track app is stationary. That is to change in a future release. I don't know when that will come, but that will it will start working very similar to the tag app. Okay, and then there's a fourth pin. It's an assignment pin. That's the green pin. So the green pin on there is really controlled by the assignment location, which can be done through the chart when you have the Events Pro feature activated, or if you have the plans feature and this event was created from a plan where assignments were added with location information. Okay. So in this case, for this example, this event was not created from a plan. It was actually created through Salamander Live. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So in this case, here's our chart. So with the Events Pro feature, you'll be able to create a actual uh, relationship type hierarchy, okay, or reporting hierarchy. So I don't have one at the very top. I'm just going to put all these under on scene. So just click, drag and drop. You'll see that the parent assignment will turn orange. So you know that this is going to go beneath. So crash support is going to go underneath. Snow removal, traffic, okay, and utility. Okay, so there's my chart. So again, that's the first thing that you get with the Events Pro feature is create that chart. So very similar to what you can do within Command if you've used Command before, okay? All right, so that's there. Now, if you want to add in additional assignments, as you know, you can add assignments through the Track app. You can also add it through Command if you have those additional applications and functionality, okay? But just know that you are able to do it now through Salamander Live. So click on the plus button over here. It's the Add Assignment button. And then you're going to get this little pop-up to add the assignments. So you have two options. You can add assignments that are currently already listed within your assignments database, or you can create brand new ones, okay? So how do you know if it's existing or new? The system will tell you. So if I type in here Incident Commander, you'll see that all this pops up right here. You see that? So this is pulling from my assignments database. Now, for those organizations that are like at the very top, and you're managing multiple entities below you, and you may find that you may see like multiple of the same assignment name. It's usually that's because each of those organizations has created one, but because you're at the top, you can see them, so you'll see exactly which assignment is belonging to whom. Okay, you see that? So the parentheses is the organization that created that. Okay. In this case, it doesn't matter. You can select whichever one you want to put in there. Okay. So that's how you do it. So in this case, it's very simple to add. Simply all you're going to do on here is you can click on this. You can click on it. You see that intelligence investigations, and it adds it to your cart. So this is a cart down here. If you want to remove it, just simply click on it and removes it from your list. Okay, before you even add it. As you know, with real live events, as you add assignments, you can't remove them anymore. They'll always be a part of that event. So that's why we allow you to create the little cart down here to kind of verify, make sure you want to add it to the event before you click save. Okay, so I'm going to add one that does not exist in here. I'm just going to add one called towing. You'll see it doesn't exist because there's no drop down, but I can still add it. Just know that it's adding it to this event. It's not adding it to my assignments database. So if I want to use towing for future events, I'll have to go back to my assignments database and add towing as an assignment. So it's there permanently in the system. To add this one, I simply click the check mark, add it to my cart, and say, okay, I'm ready to go. I can click save. So it adds it there. So it adds it outside of my chart, and I can drag and drop it where I want it to go. Okay. So that's how you can add assignments. Any questions on the ability to add assignments? Okay. No questions? From here, I can add in assignment details. So to do so, I can right click, So if you right click an assignment, it's going to give you some options. So you'll see that you'll be able to manage your chart this way as well too. If you wanted to detach it, you can detach it from the chart if you wanted to. Like for example, if I move checked in over here and then I change my mind, I want it separate, I can right click and then click detach and it'll detach it from the chart. Okay. There's an option for you to view a report. This report is an assignment report. It just shows you all the people that's within that assignment. Okay. But the one that we're really looking at is the edit function right here. So the edit option. So I'm going to click edit. It's going to take me into the towing assignment. You'll see here, this is the assignment. Its name is going to be at the very top. And now at the bottom in the body area here, you have options to add details. So if you click on the pencil icon, you can edit the details for this assignment. First things first, what you can't do is you can't change the name of the assignment. This is already a part of the event. You can't change it no longer. So you want to make sure that you do that on the assignment screen to make sure it's spelled correctly before you even add it. Here you have an option to add a category. This is just a category that you can create for all your different assignments if you wanted to. Here's an option for you to allow tag app users to select. So as of today, this is not working. This is actually what we put in place for our tag app. So the tag app, we are revamping that right at this moment. It will be released soon here. I don't know when it actually will be. I don't have a ETA on that, but it is coming. So this basically will allow users, tag app users, to select towing as the assignment. If you're using the tag app today, there's actually really only one assignment. It's checked in. So that's the default assignment. You may have seen some that are en route. So those are really the only two. But with this selected in the future, when the new tag app is released, those tag app users can select towing as their check-in assignment, not checked in. Okay. So outside of the default. So as of right now, I wouldn't select anything right now that doesn't do anything as of today. But here you can actually add the location. So where is this assignment located? So if it's in a specific area, you can actually add that. So I'm just gonna put the address in here. As you start typing, you'll see a drop down for matches, which is powered by Google. If you're using Chrome or Edge, just know that you may have a different drop down, and that's going to be your cache data by your browser. So just make sure how you tell the difference between what's cache data by your browser versus an address that's being pulled up by Google is this little notation on the bottom right of the drop down. It has to say powered by Google. Okay. So I'm going to select that address and it's going to fill in all the information, including city, state, county, and latitude and longitude. So this is what's required. So technically, if we didn't want to put in all the address, but we want to type in latitude and longitude, it works the same. This is what's being used to plot on the actual map. Here, if you want to put additional details on here, you definitely can. So if you want to put like, maybe a contact number or something for them, whatever you want to put, this is just assignment details for anybody that's looking through this through Salamander Live. Okay. So click save. You'll see the location is entered in on here. You'll see this little map icon. This kind of gives you a kind of a preview of where this is located. So right here, you'll see it's River Hills Automotive is where the towing company is. If you want to move it, you can move it if you wanted to. If you move it, it does move and change the address. If I move this into an intersection, it would change this to just the latitude and longitude. Okay, so the map function here, it shows you a preview, but it also allows you to move the pin if you needed to move it for any particular reason. Next on here is you can add resources. So on top of adding the assignment location, you can add resources. So similar to what you can do within Rapid Tag, Track, and Command is that you can add your resources. So to add resources, simply click on the Add People. So you have your options. You can scroll through your list and add the person. You can search for someone specifically. So it's really up to you. I'm just gonna quickly scroll through so you can see on here. I want to show you this. So this is great because what it does is anybody that's currently checked in to the event will be in red. It lets you know that you can't add someone that's already in the event. Okay, so this is a good visual cue to kind of help you. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to add, and I'm just adding a couple people in here. I know it may not make sense, but just adding a couple people. Okay, so as I click on them, it's adding it to my cart. Again, it's verifying, are you sure you want to add these people? Again, just like on the assignment side, once you add someone, you really can't remove them and delete them from the event. The only way is to move them off scene so their time doesn't accrue. Okay, so you always want to verify, make sure that you've got the right people added. You'll see their ID numbers in the parentheses, the organization they're with, and they've got a title. Their title is there as well. If you verify that Steve Carpenter is not supposed to be with this group, you can click his name and it's going to remove him from the list. Okay, so we've got our 2 people. We can click add, and it's going to add it to the event. Okay, now they've been added. From here, you can also do equipment if you want to add equipment in here. This one takes a little bit longer to download the equipment list. We understand that it is a little bit slow, so our development team is working on making this faster. So we'll have a fix for this in our next release to make sure it's moving a little bit faster. So same thing, all your equipment is going to pull up. Anything if you also have the asset management feature turned on, any consumables will not be listed in here. So again, it's just going to be all your fixed assets. Okay. So you can search through your list. You can type, I'm just going to put truck. What do I have for truck on here? Here I've got some truck. Here is my truck, my towing truck. I'm going to click on this one here. Adds it to your cart. If that's the correct one, I can click add. And now I've got a piece of equipment added. So it creates another section down here. Same thing for collection if you want to add a collection. So this again is pulling from your collections database over here, just like what it did for people and equipment. Okay. So I've got my collections in here that I've already created. This will not give you a list of who's within those collections. So before you add your collections, make sure that you go through your collections list and verify that that they are up to date before you start adding them, especially if your collections, the people within those collections change often. Okay. I'm just going to select one in here. I'm just going to put in the Salamander team. Click add. Depending on how big the team is, it'll add it there. So you see, it's not going to list anybody that's within that collection. That is something that we'll be doing for a future release as well, as being able to give you visibility to see who's in that team one, versus going back to your collections to take a look at that list. Okay, so that's how you add your collections. If you're using this in a plan, if this was a planned event, anybody that is a planned resource would be in red. So it even tells you on here. But of course, this is not a planned event, so there shouldn't be any planned resources in here. Right? Any questions on how to add a resource, either a person, equipment, or a collection? No questions? Okay. What I want to show you also on here is not just the ability to add these resources, but you also have the ability to move them as well. Okay. So, and this is for any assignment. You can go in here and you can click on one and you can move them. So if I go back, I'm going to go into a different assignment. Okay. You should see my assignment pin is now here because I added that towing assignment. You see that? There's a green pin that appears there. So if I want to go back in here, I'm going to move this back over here. I'm going to go in my crash support. Let me want to edit and I want to move someone. I definitely can. So how to do that, you'll see here's my list of people. If I want to move someone, let's say I want to move Brian Armstrong. If I click the checkbox next to his record, there's a move option that appears on here. I can click on that. I can select his new assignment from the drop down. where he's supposed to be going. So right now he's in crash report. Where is he going? Let's say he's going off scene. I can click off scene and click move, and it's going to move him from crash report to off scene. This will reflect on all your connected devices and applications. So it will show him moved to off scene in the track app, command, rapid tag as well, if you have all those activated. Now you can move people, you can move equipment, you can move collection. Now on the collection side, the difference on this is that you are moving the entire collection. You can't move individual people within that collection like you can do on the track app. So that's going to be important to note. So if I go back in here and I click edit, I'm moving the entire collection. You see that? I can't move individual people that's within that collection. That can only be done as of the day of today through the track app and through command. And you can do that through RapidTag as well, but not through Salamander Live yet. In the future, though, once we have that listing of everybody, that might be a possibility. From there, you have the option to move all on off scene as well. So you can click on that. So there's an option. If you right click, you can move everybody that's within that assignment to the off scene assignment, which would move them all. Okay, see that? They moved it all off scene. Questions on how to use the chart. And edit, traffic control. There's my people. Let's say I just want a latitude, longitude. I don't want an address. I could type that in. Okay. Click save. Okay. If I go back to my map, I should see a second assignment pin. If I zoom out, there's my second assignment pin. So just with the latitude and longitude. So you'll see the difference between the two. This one is just latitude, longitude. This one has an actual address. So it'll actually showcase that. And then you'll see the latitude, longitude right there. Okay. Questions? Okay. If I wanted to take a snapshot of my chart here, let's say I wanted to save this either for my paperwork or if I wanted to just save it for future reference, you can click the capture chart image icon, which is the camera icon. Just click on that. It's going to save it as a PNG file. There it is. And that's what it's saved. Okay. And you can save that. You can do whatever you want with the image itself. Go back to the events list. I know I talked about adding in the event location, so I'll show you where that's done. So this is where you can do that is click the checkbox next to the event. And again, this feature is available on a standard Salamander Live package. Okay, so the adding of an actual event location. Click the edit event button, and then you can go in there and change the address if need be. Okay, so you can change the name of the event. You just can't change the organization that created the start date and time. But everything else in here you can change. You can even delete all the information and just put a latitude and longitude in there if you wanted to. So that's how you can do that. Any questions on the chart or the map? Questions? Now this chart or this map is just a really one layer map. It's pulling information from different areas So if you have the Esri or Esri integration with Salamander Live, that map is obviously going to have a lot more information in there. If you're interested in learning about the Esri integration, I do have a video on that and the training in Salamander University. You can also contact your local sales rep if you want more information on that as well too. They could provide you a quick demo on that. But if you're wanting more map functionality and layering of different maps. All right. Well, that does conclude today's training on the Events Pro feature. I will put my contact information up here. So this is our 877 number. This is our 24/7 number for support. So feel free. You can reach support here at that number. You can also reach me at that number, or you can contact your local sales rep. And then if you have any questions on anything training related, please feel free to contact me at training@salamanderlive.com. Other than that, you can also email support. If it's more technical questions, you can email support@salamanderlive.com. All right. So I'll open up for any final questions.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple of questions if you've got just a minute.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, Joe Hawley, the other guy online, and we're both with Colorado Oxcom, and this was sort of dumped on us at the last minute as far as the presentation. So I apologize if I haven't had questions. I'd hope to go to your Salamander University and get some basic information. But the way this works, how does this interface with the Salamander tags? In other words, you were showing us where people are on scene, off scene. Is that something that would normally be integrated into the application where their badge gets scanned and automatically puts this in?
Yes, absolutely. So it works in conjunction to that. So right here, I have the track app. So I'm going to pull up the track app on here. I'm going to show you this right now. Let me share my phone screen so you can see this. I'm going to mirror this real quick here. So you'll be able to see the same data, okay?
Right.
Same data. Let me get this up and running. So here's my track app. See that? So I'm sure this is what you were talking about. My track app, you see here's the event. It's called Moosewood Blizzard. It matches exactly what I have on here. I can tap join, and it shows all my people. Should be exactly the same as on here. Checked in, crash report, etc. So you can still do your scanning of barcodes and everything from here, and it's still going to sync up to Salamander Live. What the Events Pro feature does, it allows those that are managing Salamander Live, let's say they're in the EOC and command post, it allows them, in the past, it just allows them to kind of view the information, right? They couldn't really do anything unless they also had a track app with them or if they had command with them. But now it allows them to kind of manage that as well. So if they wanted to move someone or if they wanted to make a change, they can go in and make those changes without needing to have a track app with them. So you'll see in here. Yep, go ahead.
So every participant would have the track app on their phone. In addition to being able to scan the barcode on their card, they could also do all that from the track app on their phone.
Yes. Yep. They could do that from the track app on their phone. And usually track apps, you're going to be limited to those to like the account, like the accountability officers, right? So there's going to be a limited number of people that should have access to the track app. You know, those are going to be responsible for managing that check-in process. It's not going to be everybody. The one that everybody more likely will have is the tag app. That's more of an individual one where they could check themselves in to the event saying, I'm on my way. I've checked myself in because I've accepted this, job assignment, and here I'm at. You can see them on the map as such I showed right here. This is the tag app, shows them, and then it would show them on their way en route to the event, wherever how far they're at. Versus this would be, I'm already on scene. I'm here. My job is to check all these people in and move them and account for them to make sure that they're accounted for their time, accounted for where they're going to be working, etc.
Gotcha. So you're saying that all the participants in a mission or whatever would have the tag app, but not necessarily the track app?
Correct.
Okay, because I downloaded the tag app, and the track app at the recommendation of our administrator. And right now, at least both of them say not authorized for tag or not authorized for track, but I'm assuming that's an admin thing. I need to talk to my admin people and find out what's going on.
Correct. Yep. They probably don't have you assigned to a tag app username and a track app username. So that's all controlled through security users. So
Sure.
you guys are on probably Colorado, right? It's probably on a state implementation. So they'd have to go into your record and then select that option for you. So they would be going into your actual username and they would select the track app and then tag app.
Okay,
And
so I
then
went into my security role, and it looks like it says under product, it has track app plus salamander identity verification checked. But so I'll talk to our admin. I'm just trying to puzzle this through in my own mind because this is, like I said, this is all new to us, and you're being a good sport for letting me ask the dumb questions.
oh
But
no, it's nothing is ever a dumb question.
yeah, so basically what we're doing as auxiliary comm people is we're normally going to be in an EOC or something like that, helping them with radios and all that. So I'm assuming they just want to make sure that we can get into the Salamander Live app and help them do what they need to do. Under the Salamander University, does it kind of cover the basics of all the stuff you've been talking about?
Yes, it covers everything what I talked about right now and more. So if you go to Salamander University, you'll see that I've got everything listed in here. So Salamander Live, this will give you kind of a base foundation of information of how to actually navigate and use this site here. And it's the same for all of these other ones. So if you're interested on mobile apps like the track app and tag app, I've got videos on that, how to utilize that and how that information is synced up and managed through Salamander Live. But if your main role is going to be managing the events on the Salamander Live side, I definitely would take a look at the events management section here, which really
Okay.
walks through all of this stuff. This has all the Events Pro built in to the different areas right here. So like you'll see working with the roster tile, even though it doesn't say Events Pro, you know that the roster tile is a Events Pro feature. Same thing with the resource timer, and then the event chart actually has just a basic, and then there's a section on there that talks about the extended features. So those three are the ones that you'll want to take a look at if you want to review what we've covered today in today's training.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, right now I don't even know what questions to ask. Joe, maybe you're more familiar with this than I am, and I could pick your brain on it. But it's definitely a robust application, and looks like it'll be a great thing to use in an EOC environment.
Oh, absolutely.
I had this 6 years ago, so no.
Okay. Well, good. We can learn together and then pick on Emmett for tossing us into the deep end here.
Yeah,
But
he sent this note out last night and we just got on it. I do have one quick question, if I might.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm the other half of the people who got led in, to the slaughter, so to speak. Your mapping, that's Google Maps, right?
Yes, it's Google Maps.
Yeah, I thought so because I use it.
Oh, good.
So I understand I run a WinLinks Wednesday and I actually do the same thing that you do. So yeah, that's great. You're doing a great job, and I do appreciate this. And I gotta thank Emmett for doing this because it's been a long time since I had any training on this.
so,
Good. Yes.
I'm assuming there are other teams training meetings that maybe go into the more basic portions of this.
There are, if you are interested, because our next month is going to be more specific, because each month we cover a different topic, and next month is going to be more towards family reunification and our rapid tag evac and civilian account. So that might not pertain to what you're using, but I do have past webinar recordings in here. If you go to webinar recordings, and I do have some back to basics in here. That's like tag app, track app. You can go through product features if you want to down here that kind of walks through different components of Salamander Live. So it's kind of like today's training where we have group people come in, they ask questions, and I just go through different areas. So feel free to view any of these videos right here that might help out.
Right. Well, super. I see you're about to time out, so I'll let you go, but I do appreciate you taking the extra time here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And your contact, because you guys are out of Colorado, so your contact is Midwest Car. Do you have their contact information?
I don't, but I'm sure our administrator does, and we could get that if necessary.
Yeah, definitely talk with them. Brendan is amazing. Brendan and Jonathan are amazing. Jonathan does all the support, and then Brendan does all their training and stuff. So feel free to reach out to them. You can also reach out to me if you have any questions, but they are your primary contact. They should be able to assist with anything that you guys need regarding your account.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks again for your time.
Yes, you're welcome. No
Thank you.
problem. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Chip. Thank you, Joe.
You have a good
Sounds
day.
good.
Yes, you too. Thank you. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.